Welcome to the Books and Martinis podcast.
I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy.
And this is your go-to book podcast,
where we lift, empower, and spotlight authors.
Grab your martini and follow along.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy. Welcome, everybody, and especially Andrea Rose. Welcome to our podcast. Thank you for being here with us.
Hi.
Cheers. To a great interview. To a yummy martini you're drinking.
Salute.
Mm-hmm.
Put this down.
I love it. So for those of you that are actually listening and cannot see, I want you to know that Andrea Rose has got a smile that lights up a room. It's just a spectacular smile that goes with the rest of her beautiful face. And I just wanted to share that. And a happy birthday. I'm not sure when this will drop. Right now, your birthday's around the corner. So I'm loving the lavender hair and the whole feel and the glowiness. So just wanted to share that.
Very much.
And before we go any further into this and talk about your bio and all your great information, I wanted to thank you on behalf of Priya and I.
Yes.
For the beautiful dedication and signature on your book. Thank you for sharing so many wonderful things and all the fun stickers. We were like, oh, what?
Thank you.
So thank you. You made our day. We get books, like tons of books every single day, but rarely do they come with as much love. So it was noticed and appreciated. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
Right, that's it. I'm done with my rant. Take it on.
We have to give her a shout out.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. It was beautifully wrapped and presented. And we love that. We love the love that authors put into their stuff. Yeah. And especially with all the stickers and stuff. We love stickers. Okay. Let's not get off on tangent, guys, because we are going to be talking to Andrea about her amazing book, Ahmentree's Magic. But let's get started with her bio. All right. So Andrea Rose Washington is an indie author who has been writing for years. Passionate about storytelling, she creates science fiction and fantasy adventure stories featuring characters that reflect her identity. Growing up, she devoured all the fantasy and science fiction books she could find, but noticed a lack of relatable main characters. Now she works to change that for new generations, crafting stories that blend thrilling adventures with diverse representation. Andrea has published 5 books. Okay, Andrea, you're going to have to help me with these names.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
It was Adelethea, which is my first one, which is my standalone. Then you have Elendil, book 1 and 2. Then you have Ahmentree's Magic, book 1 and 2, and then Scenes Out of Place.
Yes. And her works are geared toward both YA and adult readers who love immersive worlds and dynamic characters. And when she's not writing, you can find Andrea reading, dancing to music, or simply relaxing. And you can learn more about her and her books at arwbooks.com. And we'll leave the information in the summary below, guys. But welcome, Andrea.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so happy to be here. You guys are so much fun already.
We're so happy to have you. We're just so happy to have you. And can I say that I absolutely love your pink and purple vibe on everything. Like I see it everywhere.
Thank you.
It's so pretty. So cute. I love it. I love it.
Signed in purple is not from me. So.
That's good to know.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw. I'm a color girl.
That's good to know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Tell us about you. You're so animated and so adorable. Talk to us about you.
Which is really interesting that a lot of people do call me animated because like by myself behind closed doors, I am like hiding under the covers. No, I love to read and I have always had an appetite for books. I like inherited that from my mother. I was that person who like now I am that person who's like, if you see me staring at my phone, I am not doom scrolling. I'm reading a book. I'm reading something. I'm diving into a world. I'm trying to learn the new story. I've loved TV shows. Always loved the fantasy stories. I loved shows like The Magicians. Expanse, anything that sort of fell into the genre of sci-fi or fantasy where it was escaping Earth. It was testing the bounds. It was going as far as people could go and seeing new worlds and conquering. I loved and devoured all of that. I was the kid who read Harry Potter at night when it first dropped to make sure I was one of the first people who knew what was happening. Um, I loved stories and I love making new worlds and diving into it. Then the book hangovers where you would get when you would be done reading and none of
Yes.
your friends read the story and you have no one to talk to. And how can this be? How can no one know exactly everything that I need to talk about? Um, so that's what sort of got me into writing. That's who I was. I needed more stories. And then as I got older, I was looking for specific stories with specific storylines, with
Mhm.
characters who looked like me, who so I can connect to. I could feel like I was the person saving the day. I was the chosen one, or I was just maybe the unlucky chosen one who did not
Yeah.
want to be the person saving the day, but they were the person who stepped up for it. And I decided, I needed to change that. So I am a person who loves to tell stories and loves to create new worlds. And also, side note, I do have a
Mhm.
culinary degree, so I'm also someone who loves to cook.
What?
Ooh, have you included that in any of your stories?
Not in any of the ones I've already done. But I do have a story in the future where there is someone who works on a food truck. I did that for a couple of
Ah.
years
Is it
and
a
it was
space? Is it
fun.
space related? Is it science fiction related, or is it like based on Earth?
It will be based on Earth, but it will be a
Okay.
sci-fi story. Um,
Oh.
and just a little hint, there may be a hotel that
Oh.
caters to certain guests,
Ooh.
and
Oh.
I might have a character that
Oh.
lives
Ooh.
there.
You
Oh
might.
snap.
I love that. We just
So,
interviewed an author recently, and she had a chocolate. She became a chocolatier in her book, and it was amazing the way she was describing the whole process and the smell and the chocolate and the cinnamon she put in and like all brandy and all these different things. And I thought, oh wait, you know food. That's a
Mhm.
perfect combination.
And it would be
Love
so
that.
good if like I mean, I'm not imposing anything, but if like she cooked for aliens and she made all these crazy dishes, or
Ooh,
he or they,
whatever it may
love
be.
you know what I
that.
mean? That would be so interesting from a science fiction point of view to make
Yeah,
culinary.
it's like untapped
Because
territory.
Yeah.
I want to use my background in hospitality. I did work for hotels for a couple of years, and
Nice.
I want to take that knowledge and my love of sci-fi and otherworld beings and throw them together in a pot and see what happens.
What a
Yeah.
Yes.
combination. So
Yes.
this is the book that you sent us that we devoured. Talk to our listeners about this. What inspired you with the name? And tell us about the story to those that have not enjoyed it yet.
So Amatree's magic. Um, so the name comes from the fact that the main character, that is not her name. And
Right,
she doesn't come into contact with anyone with that name till near the end of the
right.
book. Um,
No
but it was
spoilers.
no spoilers. Um, but the book itself came about because I worked in DC for years and I would walk across Congress. I would, from one metro station to my job, I would walk all throughout DC and I would see all the historical buildings. I would see the statues. Um, and all I could think of, there's a whole side of DC that we're not seeing. There's a whole
Mm,
world that people never see because unless you are a part of the political world or unless you're a part of the financial world or a lobbyist or certain things, you don't see everything that happens in DC. Most people only see a fraction of it. And
mm-hmm.
from that line of, well, what's the part of the world that I'm not seeing is where Amatry's magic came from. Because the what if the world I'm not seeing is because I don't have magic. It's because I don't
Mm,
have that magic running through my veins to see the different doors and the shops that only people with magical blood could see.
yes.
But if I'm not seeing all the things, like, am I really missing? Is that really an empty storefront or is that a restaurant that I'm just not allowed to go to because I don't have magic? And so all of that,
Ooh.
sort of those ideas sat in my head for about a year or two until I was able to sort of like plan out a storyline. But it's about a young woman,
Olivia.
London, who is an unbound magical, which means she's not in a coven. And she has lived in DC, in the DC area, her entire life. And the owner of the shop where she works um, is sadly dies under mysterious circumstances.
Can we say who the owner is? Can we say who
Mrs.
the owner
Coe,
is? Okay.
Mrs. Coe,
Which is like her mother figure.
who has loved this girl since she was a
Yeah.
teenager.
Yeah.
And she passes away. And in that process of Olivia dealing with the trauma of losing someone who was basically her mother, as she deals with the investigation, as it unravels, she starts to learn her Mrs. Coe's death has a lot to do with her. And Olivia doesn't understand it. Olivia doesn't understand what Mrs. Coe was hiding. What does it really have to do with her? And she's sort of seeing herself fall into a world that she was never truly a part of and was never really allowed to be a part of because she wasn't in the coven, because she was unbound. And so you see Olivia being almost the chosen one, who is the reluctant chosen one, who doesn't truly want any more power. She has the plan for her life. She knows exactly where she's going to be in 5 years. And all of this sort of upends everything she's, one, believed about her life, two, believed about the people around her, and where her future can go also. So that is Ahmentree's Magic. And there's 2 books currently out in that one. And I'm working on the 3rd and final.
Wow.
Wow. So it's a trilogy. I love that.
And it was so good. And so Olivia, so for our listeners and our readers and everybody, unbound in this book means that she's not part of a coven.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a special coven called the Chosen Ones. And we can say this because I know it's in the summary. All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Mrs. Coe? Was she inspired by your own mother? Any experiences behind that character?
So honestly, she was inspired by my grandma.
Oh.
My grandmother inspired Mrs. Coe. When I thought my grandmother is someone who like gave everything for her family, gives everything for her family. If you needed a place to stay, she had you. If you needed food, to this day, she is 100 years old. And when we go down there, it's like, oh, do you want me to cook you something? Grandma, stop. You're 100.
Is she really 100 years old?
She is really 100 years old.
Wow.
And when we go to visit her, she still wants to take care of us. She still she still cleans up after herself. And she has this love for people. And that's who Miss Coe was inspired by. I wanted someone who exuded love, who exuded patience, kindness, and was also just firm, because as nice as my grandmother was, the one time I lost my temper, she looked at me and said, no. She's like, I am too good for you to ever raise your voice at me. No.
Oh.
And I'm like, you're right. I'm wrong. So she was inspired by that version of my grandmother who always went above and beyond for her family. She still will try to give me money. I'm like, Grandma, I'm good. You don't need to do this. I just want to give you a little something. I'm like, no, you're fine.
Love language.
And that's who Miss Coe was, the older version of her, the version that is taking care of Olivia, the version that hires her and has this whole plan for her life. The younger version of her, that's not after my grandmother.
Okay.
Put that on my grandma. The younger version, I sort of pictured that as what most people do when they sometimes sort of go in the wrong direction and they don't realize until it's too late how big of a mistake they're making. I've made those mistakes. I know a lot of people have made those mistakes. And so that younger version of her was inspired by people who went in believing they were trying to do better for their people. They were trying to do better for their friends and family and all of those around them. And they thought they were joining the right community. And then stuff happens that you need to read the book to find out.
And so I know it's a trilogy. I know 2 of them are out. So this is the first one.
Yes.
And the 3rd one, when do you think it'll come out? 2026 or soon, or
early next year. I'm currently working on the trilogy to another book.
Okay.
But Olivia, there's something in Olivia. This is the second one, The Last Heir.
Oh,
Oh, let me see that cover
let
again.
me see.
Hold it up to the camera, a little closer.
Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
So the first book
Oh.
shows like outer space, and it shows Washington, D.C.
So, I will say, so it's the building from DC.
Oh,
Right.
it is?
Here.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
blue part. On
Oh,
the blue part too.
Oh, I thought it was a spaceship.
No.
I did too.
I just thought it was a spaceship.
Oh,
So
look at
this is
that.
showcasing
Okay.
her being in DC,
Okay.
and being in the middle of it. Because that's how she is
Okay.
in the story. She is in the middle of
Yeah.
Right. Right. How
And
about
then
the second one?
the second one, she's behind gates because, as you know, she finds something out in the first book, and that
Yeah.
sort of showcases
Mm-hmm.
where she is in the second book. And the city is a little bit more behind her, and then the new building of where she's located is off on to this side.
And so who helps you with your beautiful art? Tell us about the art of the book.
So I actually found a really amazing cover company called Get Covers. They are super affordable. They are an amazing group of artists who you fill out a form, you send them everything that you're looking for. And then each time I sort of work with someone different. For this book, for Ahmentree's Magic, I did work with the same person. I want to say their name was Kara. And I would tell them, this is what I want my character to look like. I gave them examples of different different cover ideas that I loved. I was like, I want her to have this sort of portal behind her, like she's sort of stepping out into her own. I want to see the DC behind her. I wanted her to look confident. I wanted her to like to feel like she's stepping into who she is as a person. And I wanted her to be like in control of her magic. And then you see a little bit more of that in the second one where she feels a little bit more powerful and she is a little bit more like, I got it. Yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
I can do this.
There's more confidence to her.
Yes. But the
although
company,
there's a lot of confidence on the first one.
there is.
Yes. Yeah.
Looks badass.
And
who's the model? Did you get to choose the model? Like, or is
so
that
I will say she is a hodgepodge of a couple people because I couldn't find one person in the same pose that I wanted. So she is a
yeah.
mix of a couple people.
Oh,
Okay.
But you can't tell that she's a mix of a couple of people.
No, no.
you can't.
But aren't we all?
Yes. Because I saw different aspects that I loved from different models. And so I asked if it was possible to like take different things from different people.
That's
Because
awesome.
and they said yes, because even though she is a version of me, I feel like I am made of all of my experiences throughout life. And so I've took that into how I made the cover. All the different experiences made her who she was. And so I took that.
And on this, I love that. On this trilogy, what has been your most rewarding experience so far?
So it's almost like giving Olivia a family. So when I wrote Olivia, she has been in the system most of her life. She's never really had a true family. She has Mrs. Co. She has her best friends, and that's all her circle was. But as she's like sort of being forced to go into dealing with the underground coven world that she wants really nothing to do with, she starts seeing people, meeting people where they're at, and she starts to learn more about other people, and her circle is growing, and she realizes she can accept other people into her circle. So giving her a family has been probably one of the most rewarding experiences when it comes to writing this one. And I didn't even realize it. Going into it, I was gonna have her be a loner, and then I started like meeting my characters as I was creating them, and I'm like, oh, you are different to her. Okay, no, okay, you can be in the group. You can be in the group. And then that says some other people like, no, you stay away from her. I know I created the group, but stay over there.
I love that. Of the people that have read your book, what has been one of the most favorable comments you've gotten back on it? Like, what have you heard
from the events? Because you've been doing a lot of events. You're like doing an event circuit right now.
Like, what's been the best feedback you've gotten from the book, from a reader?
Or fan out, I guess.
So a lot of people really do love Olivia, and they've told me they really connect with her. Which makes me happy because she's
I can see that.
But also when they when they yell at me for what I've done to her, that's one of the biggest comments I get after the second book.
Oh man, and I haven't even gotten to the second book yet, man.
It's gotten worse after the second book, but after the first, with just the first book, I do get a lot of people saying how much they love Olivia.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I'm trying to give any spoilers.
Right.
But I'm hearing that they love that the story is sort of like a fast-paced story, a fast-paced read where they one woman told me that she was going to read it on her way home, and then she ended up sending me a message on Instagram saying, I started when my husband drove us home. It was a 4-hour drive. I finished it when we pulled into the driveway, and I was hooked the entire time. I loved the story. I loved the characters. People who used to live in DC would tell me, I knew exactly what metro station you were talking about. I knew exactly which way she walked home. And you're right, you can walk from DuPont to Georgetown. It does take 30 minutes. I was thinking at first, no, that's impossible. You don't live here. You don't know you can't walk from there. I was like, I have, because I've walked that walk before. It is a long walk, but you can do it.
Yes, so there's Olivia in you.
Yes. And like she was trying to save money, and sometimes you just gotta hoof it on 2 feet. It's like, oh, it's a nice day. I walked down to Georgetown from DuPont. It's a 30-minute walk minimum. Yes, it is a longish walk, but it is doable on a nice day. So I get a lot of those comments from DC based conventions where people are very happy to see DC represented in
their hometown,
and represented in the book, and also represented accurately. Even the parts in Maryland, people were telling me that I knew exactly what road she was driving down because I'm from here. And so it made me feel sort of like happy and pride of just also representing the DMV area where I'm from, because all of our stories are basically politically based, and this one wasn't, and a lot of people love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
And there was also like the whole like criminal like vibe to it, which I loved, and I know Mercy loved because she loves thrillers.
That's my thing.
And crime stories, and I love sci-fi. So this was like a perfect mix for the two of us. Now, we know that you write your books from a place of like you want to have representation in your stories, but what drew you to sci-fi? Why the sci-fi world?
Sci-fi, because like magic, almost anything is possible. There's a whole universe that we don't know. Like we have photos of, we can see everything out there, but we don't know what's happening on every single planet, every star, and all the galaxies in the universe. There is so much unknown out there that almost anything you write could be considered true, because tell me I'm wrong. Prove to me that this can't exist at some point.
That's right.
Well, science fiction is a precursor to science fact, right?
Yeah.
Or is it science? No, yeah. Science fiction is a precursor to science fact. So like even like teleporting, they could do that now, but in like really small particles, and that was like way after Star Trek. So a lot of the things that we write about and dream about, they come true. Like it happens somehow.
They say the Jetsons, everything in those cartoons all those years ago, decades ago with the Jetsons are things that happen now because they were FaceTiming. And people are like, what? You can't do that.
And now we're using filters on our face. Like, Mrs. Jetson used to put a mask on to look good when she talked on the phone.
Yeah. And they had their Rosie, I guess would be our Alexa now. Yeah. You would ask her
your
whatever.
Alexa and your little sweeper robot thingy. That's
Yeah. So it's crazy. That's amazing. And because you're such a great writer, and you have so many different books out there, what advice would you give an aspiring author or a writer? What have you learned?
Or within this genre too, you can even get specific, like within the genre.
So my advice, sometimes people don't like when I give this advice, and I've been told sometimes not to stop saying it, but I believe in it. Write what you want to read. Just write what you want to read, and it doesn't really matter if other people tell you, oh, well, that's not hot right now, or no one's going to read that. You do, and you're a person, and your opinion matters, and it's valid. So write what you want to read, and then I just hope people like it, which they did. But I write the story to complete me. I write the story to end to tell the story that's in my head that Olivia is saying, I need you to put this on paper.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people tell me what they want to see in the next couple of books. And I'm like, thank you. But if it's not what I want to write, I'm not going to
You're
do it
not feeling
because
it. That's right.
whenever I try to write to appease people, I get writer's block because my Olivia is telling me, or any of my other characters are telling me, this isn't our story. And you're not going to do that to me. You're not going to just write to finish it to appease someone. You're going to
Yeah.
tell the story that I want you to tell about me the way that I want you to tell it. And so I always tell people, write what you want to read
I
because
love
at the end of
that.
the day, you need to love your story. You need to like your story.
Yeah.
And when I go back
It
and
represents you.
yeah, and I want
Mm-hmm.
if no one buys it, if I'm at a convention and no one buys my book,
Mm-hmm.
which is where it's happened, where I went to for one whole day, it's like 4 people bought my book, and I was there for like 8.5 hours.
Wow.
And one of my friends asked if I was sad. I was like, no, because I still like it. It might not have been for
That's
them,
right.
but
And
I'm still
and
proud of
I
it.
know you're good at marketing
Good.
yourself.
Yes.
Obviously, because I wouldn't have found you. So, I mean, like you're out there, you're doing your stories, you're putting yourself out there, and that's a huge plus too. So you're at an event and you're making the most of it. So,
Yeah, I'm having fun and
yeah,
I'm sharing
That's
my
it.
stories with other people and I'm hoping they love it. And the ones who do, they do. And then the ones who don't, my books just wasn't for
That's
you.
on them.
Yeah,
yep,
it just
Mm-hmm.
yep.
wasn't for you.
Absolutely. There's
So,
so many different types of books.
what
Sorry.
inspires you to write? Do you have a process? You're sitting down, like you block out 5 hours? I know we've had a lot of authors tell us that COVID helped them to focus. A lot of
Right.
recent authors that we interviewed focus on creating
Mm-hmm.
their books. Like, what is your writing process like? What inspires you? What tools do you use?
So actually, COVID was the worst thing for me when it came to writing. I need structure. I need to
Oh,
be busy.
mm-hmm,
I'm that 1% of people who actually need to go into the office because I
mm,
cannot focus at home. Because if I'm at home, I see everything else that needs to be done. Oh, like okay, this is gonna wait in a moment. I'm gonna clean up my couch real quick, or I'm gonna clean my room. I'm gonna do this, and I get too distracted at home. So I actually write better away from away from
Can
home.
I share with you that I am in your 1%?
Yeah,
I
thank you.
could never be productive at home. If I'm in the
Like,
house, I'm thinking, let me just put the plates in the dishwasher. Let me
mm-hmm,
just go throw the load on the dryer.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to water my plants. I haven't watered my plants. And I just forget it.
Yeah,
I am that 1% unless I'm physically out. And then if I'm in the office, it's like, all right, well, let me try to focus.
because I'm
Because
here.
even there, I'm like, let me go talk to them and see what they're up to. So,
So for me, I can outline at home, I can world build at home, I can do notes, I can do like rough draft of different chapters, but when I'm actually writing the book, I'm writing it outside of the house. Um I love lo-fi music. I love music with no words. And so what
mm,
I will do is if I'm in the office that day, like 2 to 3 days a week, I made this regiment where I'll just stay in the office till late, which sort of works out because traffic is terrible. So
mm.
my work day ends at 5. And so at 5 o'clock, I will shut down my work laptop. I will put my iPad with my keyboard on my desk. I'll put lo-fi music on from my phone and headphones to distract me. I'll close my office door. And for the next 2 hours, I will just write. I turned off the Wi-Fi on my iPad, so I cannot I can't go to anything else because
that's smart.
No notifications of people on Instagram.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then on my phone, I put on Do Not Disturb so I don't get notifications as well. And then I will write. So with the outlining process, I let it take as long as it needs to take. I try to sometimes put that into like a time constraint, but I always notice that I'm like, okay, I spent 3 days outlining the story. It's good. I'm gonna start writing. And every single time I start writing, um, like for example, for this one, when I was doing the second and third one, Olivia was like, that's not my story. Start over.
Oh my God.
Okay. And so mostly for each book, I have maybe 3 to 4 outlines until Olivia or Aubriana or Sasha, whoever is the main character in the book tells me, okay, I like this one. And so then I'll take the outline and then I'll break it into chapters because I don't outline in chapters. I just sort of
Yeah.
outline like, here's the story. And then I
Hmm.
sort of group what needs to happen to make sure there's continuity wise, everything works out. I'll make sure all the characters that need to be in it have a part. Because sometimes I have done an outline where I didn't have any of the characters I introduced in a previous book, and I had to remember, oh yeah, no, those people still existed. So let's let's throw them in. And then when it comes to actually writing, then I do need to put myself on a schedule because the outline's done. I just need to get it out. And so
Yeah.
for that, a lot of times I'll either use dictation or I will just type.
I love it. And you have so much structure because some folks, I know even for me, I'm like a pantser. So I like to dump everything out. Like there's no organization until afterwards. You know what I mean? So I love how structured you are and how like you have your outline and everything. Have you tried like submitting it to publishers?
So the first book I did, Adlithea, I did try to
Yeah.
submit it to to get a literary agent and a publisher. And that's when I learned that and this is literally no tea, no shade to
Yeah.
anyone in that industry. I understand this is your job, this is your business. You need to have what sells. But at the time, one literary agent like who responded, she was telling me that they were only looking for things that had to do with vampires and werewolves at the moment. And I was
like romanticities and fantasy. Yeah.
and all of my books, while they do have like a hint of romance, isn't the main story because when it's life or death, I don't care if you like me. Like and so none of my stories is never really the main vibe as my characters are fighting for their life. They have other things to worry about. And I didn't really want to write about vampires and werewolves in my first book. It was Sasha's story was different. And so that's when I dived into doing self-publishing because I realized with going the traditional route, it held true to writing what was, unless you like became big and then you can start dictating what you want to write.
Yeah.
I was going to be held to what was popular and what was selling. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just didn't work for me. So
good for you.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like, you know, there's so many indie authors out there that are successful. I know it's like you have to do everything, which kind of sucks. You have to do everything, all the things, the marketing, the editing, all those things. But I mean, you got to make your own space. You can't wait for somebody else to tell you that they'll be interested in your stuff. Like you got to do it for yourself.
And it was a learning curve. Going into the self-publishing route was a deep learning curve. People come to my table every single year at every convention and they always ask me, well, how did you do it? And I always have to tell them, I cannot explain that to you while at this convention. Like it would take way too long for me to try to explain to you everything I did. So I can get you started by saying Google is your best friend, and so is YouTube.
Right. Sure.
I do on my Patreon offer a tier where I meet with people monthly and I will like help them get through that process of like understanding how like giving them like sort of due dates, homework. Here's what you need to do to walk you through the process.
Yeah.
It honestly is understanding yourself and understanding how much you want to spend, and two, how flexible are you to being your own boss like that.
Yeah.
Can you watch YouTube videos to understand how to use KDP or Ingram or Draft to Digital or another version that you want to do? Do you know how to lay out your books? Do you have a thick enough skin that if you do it wrong and someone comes at you and tells you, well, I didn't read your book because it was horribly, I didn't like how it laid out on the page. Okay. I'm learning just as much as you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like how much are you able to handle all of that? How much can you spend on marketing? Are you willing to have a budget of like $500 and understand that maybe 250 or 300 of that you're wasting because you have no idea what you're doing?
Right.
And I'm like, YouTube was my best friend. Like I watched so many videos on how to use KDP, how to use Ingram, how to use Draft to Digital, Canva breakdowns on making marketing materials, learning how algorithms worked, and like what marketing platforms to use. It's a full time
because you're your whole marketing team.
yeah. And and like in understanding it is a full-time job, but sometimes I regulate it to just 1 day a week where I'll spend the entire day making all of this content and then I'll post it throughout the week. But I'm like, I can't keep doing this every day where I'm spending hours each day on marketing because I'm not spending hours writing.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, but
it's a lot of balancing.
But once you get up that hill, of like knowing the basic knowledge and having a couple errors of like a couple runs of trial and error, it gets easier. It does, because now I understand what I like, what I don't like. Finding the editor, it took me a couple editors to find one that I really mesh with, who understands me. And then like learning, did I want to use an editor that was their full-time job, or was someone who was doing it as a part-time gig? And understanding the pros and cons. Like, yeah, the people who are doing it with a part-time gig, it may be cheaper, but you're also on their schedule versus working with someone that's the only thing they're doing. They can put all of their time and effort into your book. So it's a lot. And it takes a lot of trial and error.
And
I love that you're sharing it. So if somebody is aspiring, right, to write their book, and to learn more about the whole process, you talked about you have a place where they can go that you can talk to them more. So if you can share with us and with all the listeners how they can find you for that, where they can find you on social media, where they can find you on every single platform so that they can connect with you.
So the main platform that I'm on almost every single day, which I need to stop, is Instagram.
Why? Because we're on there too.
We're there. How we found you. Don't walk away.
That's true. But I doom scroll a lot on Instagram, and I'm like, sometimes I look up and it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, oh, time to go to sleep. But I am Andrea Rose Washington on Instagram. And in my profile there, you have my link tree that has all of my links. And Patreon, on Patreon, I'm Andrea Rose W. And I have a tier there where people can, I'll set up monthly calls with them and I will like, hey, where you started, where you are like in the starting point, where are you trying to go? How fast are you trying to get there? How much money you're like, and I'll work them through a budget. I'll work them through setting up their writing schedule, helping them figure out what type of editor they want to use, the cover, all of that.
Wonderful. Yeah, that is wonderful. And we're going to share it also down below when they see this whole thing drop. All the information will be right there. It's been a long day.
Yes,
so wonderful.
Okay, so our last question of our interview. What's next for you? What's next for Andrea Rose Washington?
So aside from the third book.
I do have the third book of Ahmentree's Magic and the third book of my sci-fi series called Elendil I'm working on this year, and my goal is to finish Elendil this year and have it out this year, and for Ahmentree's Magic, the third one, to be out early next year. And then I am working on a murder mystery.
Ooh.
I'm working on a cozy murder mystery. My mom and I love watching murder mysteries, and so I'm sort of talking through the murder with her right now. And she's helping me figure out because she's that person who reads, like sees it in the beginning of the movie, like watches it or reads it and knows exactly who did it. And I'm like, no.
Wait, is she always right though?
She is. 90% of the time she's right. And like sometimes I have her write it down and then like, no, we'll watch it at the end. And like and I would just be like, no, it's not them. They have an alibi. She's like, Sarah, it's them. And so I'm working through the murder mystery with her to make sure it's not too easy to figure out who did it and how. And then I also, not a lot of people know this, but for Ahmentree's Magic, the original draft was very different. The original
really
was really different. The original outline was supposed to be a romance story. It was supposed to be a dark romance with taking place in DC with a little bit of crime.
Who was her supposed romance interest? Is he in Ahmentree's?
He's in Ahmentree.
Yep. Okay. Can I name names?
He may not say it because he can't.
You don't have to name names.
He's coming back on the third one.
Was it Art? Was it Andrew? Was it Steven? Like
you said one of the names.
Okay. Okay.
One of the names you said is him.
Well, one of these
One of those
days you might
three.
have to release that.
So in that series, I've name changed it because I went back and I found the original draft and I read it, and it's so different from Ahmentree's. It really is. And I thought of a new idea to make it sort of more of a dark romance, but also like have still the action and adventure that Ahmentree's Magic has.
Yeah.
And it goes in a whole different directions. There's vampires, there's war, there's
Love
it's a
it.
little bit dark. And so I'm working on that series, and it's going to be called Capital Sorcery.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes.
I love it. And is that like a nod to DC again? Capital?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love
Takes
it.
place in DC. It's going to be a different universe than Ahmentree's Magic, but it will be taking place in DC, and so people will recognize some more DC landmarks. And this one's going to be just sort of a fun. This one will focus more on the love interest's family as well and his family history, and then you learn a little bit more about the other version of who Olivia could have been.
Oh, I love it.
Reagan.
And Priya asked you her last question. I'm going to ask you my last question. When it's all said and done, next year, when you have your third one, the completion, would you come back?
Yes.
And share more with us?
Yes.
I love that. Okay,
and then
great.
you guys can ask me all the questions that you wanted to ask me.
Yes.
And yell at me about certain things I did.
But we can't give spoilers to the people who haven't read it yet. We want them to read it and find out what happens.
Yeah.
You could tell us on the side.
Yes.
Before we record.
And those that want to purchase your book, where can they find your book? What's the easiest place to find your book?
Off of my website, which is arwbooks.com. Everything I send is signed in purple. Because again, if it's not in purple, it is not from me. Or Amazon, if you do not want a signed copy, or if you're an ebook reader. And I respect ebook readers because I also own every book in both ebook and in print.
Oh,
I like that.
You have trophies.
I don't always crack the spines of my paperbacks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'll read it in ebook first. I love it. Let's buy the paperback.
Well, that's where I
do the
read.
Same thing.
Yeah, I read.
But I listen to it, and then I'll go buy it.
Yeah.
Do the same.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today, Andrea.
Thank you
were
for having me.
amazing. Your book, Ahmentree's Magic, is amazing. You guys, please check it out. Purchase it online. Follow her on Instagram. Support her Patreon. If you're a writer, check out her Patreon again. Thank you so much, Andrea. Like, share, follow, subscribe, everyone, and cheers. Our final cheers.
Cheers. I'm dry already, but cheers.